subscribers of the Izexon Amidu Chelsea Updates channel. It's a blessing to have you all that is in the entire world. This time, after a lengthy period of silence, we have been busy, that is in the transfer news. There are no much transfer deals that have been done, more so with the existence of the FIFA Club World Cup. But this time, that is fans in the entire world have come to let you know about the output of the Premier League fixture, that is 2024 and 2025. Just keep your eyes on the Izexon Amidu YouTube Sports TV. To any fan of Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and all the new clubs that have just come to the Premier League, this time I've come to get you. That is the first fixture for every club that will be transpiring, that is in the Premier League come the start of the Barclays Premier League. And the Premier League will start, that is on the 15th of August. That will be a Friday at 20 p.m. that is British Standard Time, when the defending champions, that is Liverpool Football Club, after winning their first championship, after winning their second championship, that is in 30 years, under new management of Arne Slot, they will start to defend, that is this Premier League, when they will be taking on that is Bournemouth Football Club. Remember, Bournemouth was one of the biggest teams, that is last season, under coach Iraola, putting some much resistance, being very influential under the leadership of the big men themselves, the likes of Semenyo, the likes of Kakas Melos, who has been taken by Liverpool, and even the likes of Justin Kluivert. So that will be the opening game, and it will be on Friday, the 15th of August. That will the fans still. On Saturday, we'll be having some other games. That will be Aston Villa, which will be playing up against Newcastle. Newcastle went to the Champions League, and Aston Villa missed out. That is on the last day, when it was beaten by Manchester United 2-0. So this is one of the biggest fixtures that you shouldn't miss out. Reason being, at the end of last season, these were one of the most informed teams. Remember, Aston Villa was even beaten on the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. So this game will be hosted, that is at the Villa Park, and it will be at around noon, that is 12:30 UK time. We'll be having Brighton Hove up against Fulham Football Club. This one is also one of the biggest fixtures. Reason being that Brighton were one of the top performers, making it, that is in the top 10, as well as that is Fulham Football Club. So this is a big game that you shouldn't miss out, to the fans of football that is in the entire world. So this game will be held, that is at the Brighton Stadium, that is the American Express Stadium, and it will be at 15 p.m. that is UK Standard Time. So to any fan, never miss out. A fan of Brighton, a fan of the Premier League, and even betting people, these are the fixtures that are out. We'll be having Nottingham Forest. It will be taking on that is Brentford. This one is a big one. That is a rivalry. Nottingham Forest, after having such a good performance that was last season, they were gifted by going, that is, to the UEFA Conference League amidst challenges, that is for the Champions League. However, their last loss to Chelsea in the final game of the season meant that they were demoted, that is the UEFA Conference League. So they will be taking on, that is Brentford, which is one of the top teams. News coming in is that Brentford could be letting off, that is the services of Brian Mbeumo. However, right now is still a Brentford player. Manchester United are in contention. Tottenham are still in contention, but the transfer isn't yet done. So the likes of Johnny Wissa and Brian Mbeumo are still, that is the big force in this game. New entrant, that is Sunderland Football Club, who last appeared, that is in the Premier League around, that is the 2016 season. This time we'll be back with Graham Potter's team, that is West Ham Football Club, who also struggled, that is last season. And this one will be at the Stadium of Light, and this game will be at 15 that is PM UK Standard Time. So to any fan of football, a fan of Sunderland, I think this is one of the biggest games that you shouldn't miss out. Still, Spurs will be playing, that is on Saturday, up against Burnley, and this game will be hosted, that is at the Tottenham Stadium, with a capacity of over 62,000 fans, one of the biggest stadiums and the most up-to-date stadium that is in the English Premier League. Last season, they did not perform all that better, despite of them winning, that is the UEFA Conference League. They sacked the manager, that is coach Ange Postecoglou. However, they have brought in a former Brentford coach, that is Thomas Frank. The Danish, 51 years of age, would also like to prove himself, that is on a bigger team like Spurs, playing up against new entrant, that is Burnley Football Club, and this game will be at 15 will be at 15, that is PM. All this is UK Standard Time. Wolves will be taking on Manchester City on the last game for Saturday, where Manchester City, after finishing third after an on and off season, that was last season, they will be trying to showcase that they can bounce back, that is to winning ways, or they can compete, that is for the Premier League. And this game will be hosted, that is at the Molineux Stadium, and it will be at 17:30, that is British Standard Time. To the bettors, my fans of Manchester City and fans of Wolves, this is the game that you shouldn't miss out. On Sunday, we'll be having, that is the big game, that is Chelsea will be taking on, that is Crystal Palace, in a big London derby. Previously, these two teams met. Chelsea won one game, 3-1, and even drawing, that was in the first game, that was 1-1. However, Crystal Palace had one of their best seasons, or if at all, I could say they had their most successful season in almost 164 years. They managed to win, that is a major tournament, beating, that is Manchester City, on the finals of the FA Cup, thus granting them an opportunity to play in the FA Cup, to play, that is in the Europa League. So they will be having domestic football as well as, that is, European football. So this is a big one for Chelsea, who also managed to make it to the UEFA Champions League after winning their last game up against Nottingham Forest. This game will be held at Stamford Bridge, as well as that was the previous season. Still, they played at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea drew, that was 1-1, when Berechi Eze scored, that is the late equalizer. Still on Sunday, the big one for the weekend will be Manchester United taking on, that is Arsenal Football Club. Manchester had a poor season, that was last season, finishing 15th. However, Arsenal still maintained that is in the second position. Previously, these two teams met thrice. Arsenal beat Manchester United 2-0 at their home stadium, that is the Emirates Stadium. Still, at the Emirates Stadium, they met in the FA Cup, where they went, that is, into a draw. However, when it went to penalties, Manchester United ejected Arsenal, and again at Old Trafford, the game ended, that was 1-1 in favor of either side, that is Arsenal and Manchester United. This is one of the biggest rivalries, that is in the English Premier League. So this game will be bringing